There's less than a week to go before New York votes for its next mayor, and the attacks on the front-running candidate, Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani, are taking on an air of comedy. The latest episode emerged from the Times newspaper, not the New York Times, which has had a few clangers of its own, but the Murdoch-owned Times of London. Last Tuesday, the paper ran what looked like a scoop, but now is no longer to be found. All that remains is this screen grab online. The story claimed that former New York Mayor Bill de Blasio, one of Mamdani's most vocal supporters, had turned on him, calling his tax plan dangerously optimistic and impractical. It was a striking claim, given that de Blasio has not only endorsed Mamdani, but was also the last openly leftist politician to serve as New York's mayor. Within hours of the Times story going up, there came a twist. De Blasio went on X to say, "The story in the Times of London is entirely false and fabricated. I never spoke to that reporter, and I never said those things." He demanded that the story be pulled down immediately. The Times did exactly that and issued a vague apology, saying that their reporter had been duped by an impersonator. That label, calling the source an impersonator, is also inaccurate. According to reporting by the news site Semaphore, the Times did speak to a Bill de Blasio, just not the former mayor, but a New York wine merchant who opposes Mamdani. He responded to the paper's email using ChatGPT to draft his answers and says he did not expect those replies to be published. Semaphore also reports that editors at the Times of London have been pushing for more coverage critical of Zohran Mamdani. The paper's New York bureau is headed by a former editor of the New York Post, another outlet within the Murdoch media empire. Within hours, the New York Post had produced its own version of the Times story. It was eventually rewritten entirely, but not before the campaign spokesperson for Mamdani's main rival, Andrew Cuomo, had retweeted the Post's version. Cuomo has already accused Mamdani of anti-Semitism, used anti-Muslim dog whistles, even invoked the 9/11 attacks in interviews he's given. The Times' fabricated piece fit neatly into his narrative of Mamdani being unreliable and untrustworthy. Even though the attacks are piling up, the polls haven't budged. Mamdani is strongly in the lead, and if he wins, it will be a political verdict that reverberates well beyond New York City.